You're fine as you are. You don't need to keep going to the gym is one of the most dangerous things that anyone can ever say to you. And if anyone has ever said that to you, or any version of it, then truly I'm sorry, because it is a grim situation to be in. It's a grim thing to experience, and it can actually do a lot more damage than the person that actually said it probably realizes. But here's the thing, understanding why people say it and what's usually going on when they do completely changes how you might respond to it. And by the end of this video, you're probably going to feel a lot less hurt from it, and you're probably going to understand how to navigate it as well. So let's deal with it, shall we? First and foremost, that sentence or any variation of it doesn't usually come from a place of malice. Sometimes it's the direct version, which is, oh, you are fine as you are, you're beautiful as a person, you don't need to go to the gym. And they say it with a smile, almost like it's a compliment, almost like they're doing you a favour, making you realise how good you actually are. Sometimes it's a little bit more subtle. Sometimes they might say, oh, go on, just have one. You know, another beer won't hurt. Like, usually said at like a birthday party or a meal out or whatever it is. Even if you've politely declined, they'll continue to pressure you to do it. Almost as if your food choice is now for some reason their business. And sometimes it's a little bit more pointed. You shouldn't be so obsessed with the gym. Said with a slight edge, slight judgment, almost as if prioritizing your health is somewhat of a character flaw. And whatever form it takes, it stings, because all of these different variations of the sentence that I mentioned at the start are what I consider the many faces of sabotage. Because you know how hard it was to build up those habits, or at least try to start building them up. You know how hard it is to drag yourself to the gym on days where you don't really want to go. And then someone who has never done that turns around to you and tells you that you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, it's a lot, I get it. But here's where I want to slow down on the idea of ignorance versus malice, because that's where these two thought process actually come from. One time it's either ignorance, or some other times it might be malice. And dictating and differentiating between the two is really important. So the first place they come from is a place of ignorance, which is honestly the most common place that somebody can come from when they say that. Just a genuine lack of understanding about why it is you do what you do. Think about it from their perspective just for a second. They don't understand why you go to the gym. They don't understand that it helps with your mental health, as well as the fact that it helps you get the results that you've always desired. They don't understand why you track your calories, or pick the grilled option instead of the fried option, or say no because you've already had 2 glasses of wine. They don't understand that you've come from a position where you genuinely hate what you look like in front of the mirror or in outfits. They genuinely don't understand that you are not as confident as what you want to be. And they genuinely don't understand how much you want to be strong, you want to be fit, you want to be healthy, you want to be able to look yourself in the mirror and think, yeah, I look amazing. They don't understand any of this. And if that's the case, they are coming from a place of ignorance, not because they're trying to be a prick. And the solution to this is pretty straightforward. Talk to them, explain it to them, tell them why you go to the gym, tell them why you track your calories, tell them why you've started this whole fitness journey in the first place. Tell them that it isn't an obsession, it's a priority. And there's a huge difference between the two. Because in my opinion, as soon as people start to understand the reason as to why you're doing what you're doing, they stop questioning it, and they actually even go as far as respecting it. They just needed the context. But then there's the second reason, and this one's a little bit more uncomfortable to talk about, because it is from a place of malice, or at the very least, straight up resentment. And when that's the case, it usually comes down to one thing: that they feel so self-conscious about their own lack of progress that they need to bring you down to their level, rather than lift themselves up to yours, because that's going to take energy and effort. The energy and effort they are not in the position to actually put in. There's actually a name for this. It's called tall poppy syndrome. It's a cultural phenomenon where the most successful, the most prominent people are usually criticised, attacked, or resented just because they're doing well, because their achievements elevate them above everyone else. Think about it, if you go to a poppy field and there's one poppy that's taller than the rest, that's going to be the first poppy that gets chopped down. Because success, unfortunately for everyone else, shines a light on their own stagnation. And that's exactly where some people might be coming from when they say you're fine as you are, don't go to the gym, and give you some of that indirect sabotage. They're looking at your progress and feeling uncomfortable with the lack of their own progress. And instead of channeling that into motivation to do well, they're channeling it into chopping yours down, because it's easier to do. And here's the reframe that I genuinely think you should hold on to, because it will help. If somebody is going out of their way to dim your light, then it means that your light is shining, like full stop. It's incredible. Nobody tries to cut a poppy down that isn't growing. Nobody feels threatened by somebody that isn't making progress. Nobody will punch down, they'll only punch up. The fact that they're commenting on it, questioning it, and also indirectly or directly trying to sabotage you in doing it, that's evidence that you are doing something right, that you are changing, that you're becoming a person that's completely different to the one that first started. And that is worth celebrating and not apologising for. So practically speaking, what do you actually do when this happens? If it's coming down to ignorance, then explain yourself. Talk to them, sit them down and explain exactly why you're doing what you're doing. Give them the context that they're missing, because more often than not, this is all it takes. But if it's coming from a place of malice, or even just from a place of quiet resentment, then honestly ignore it. Not in a passive, gritting your teeth and thinking of England kind of way, but in a genuine, unbothered, I understand what's going on here kind of way. Because eventually they'll stop. They'll see you getting incredible results, and the transformation becomes undeniable. The confidence becomes visible, and they realise that you are a completely different person to the one that you were a year ago. And somewhere along the line, they'll stop looking at you as someone to envy and start seeing you as someone to look up to, as an idol and an example of what's actually possible if they actually did the work. But until that point, they're just being dickheads. So I'm going to tell you exactly what my teacher used to tell me when I used to argue back and insult someone that took the piss out of me. Just ignore them. Remember, they're just being pricks, and you're allowed to treat it accordingly. Look, building a better body, becoming more confident with yourself, becoming healthier, and just transforming your life is hard enough without having to deal with pricks around you making it harder. But I want you to know this, that every single comment that you get, just have one: you're obsessed, you don't need to go to the gym. It's all just noise. It's all just background noise. Background noise from people who haven't started their journey yet, or who have started in the past and might have failed with it. And it says nothing about you, but it says absolutely everything about them. Keep growing, keep showing up, and continue being the tallest poppy in the field, because the view from up there, worth it. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to catch out any more content which is designed to help you get into the best shape of all time without hating your life in the process, make sure you're either subscribed to this channel or follow in my Instagram at k.p_health. And if you want some more in-depth tailored advice on how we can help you do that, make sure that you click the link in the description below, fill the form out, and I'll be in touch with you to see how exactly we can help you do that. In the meantime, have a good rest of your day. Peace.